What's going on, y'all? If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, welcome to the Michael Hewitt Method Fitness, Nutrition, and Lifestyle Mentorship. What are we doing here? Showing you how to have an awesome body that complements your life without running it. And not just showing you, teaching you all of the strategies, all of the tactics, the mindsets, the beliefs, the habits, the behaviors that allow for that to become a sustainable and enjoyable reality, and holding you accountable on your journey along the way so that you make that happen faster than you ever thought possible. What is an awesome body that complements your life without running it? Well, most people think that in order to have shredded abs, even visible abs, and strength that's really useful in the real world, and the kind of energy that is associated with that, that you have to spend all day in the gym, be constantly obsessing over your sleep, be constantly obsessing, fretting over what you're eating. But this does not work, because what are you going to do then if you go on vacation? What are you going to do when you go out to a nice meal? What are you going to do when you're traveling for work? What are you going to do if your gym closes down? Etc. and so forth. There are principles, tactics, strategies, mindsets, behaviors, beliefs that we are going to cover. But the very first one, the most important one to understand is this. You've got to flip a switch. Consider this. Most people cannot do something every single day that their future selves will thank them for. And yet, people do things every day with militant consistency. I know for me, I get up and I am on the hunt for my quad Americano. For some people, they do not go a night without watching Netflix. For some people, they do not go a day without a drink. They do not go a day without smoking some weed. No judgment around any of that stuff. I have been all of those people. But my life started to change, not just my body, when I flipped the switch and added just this one behavior that my future self would thank me for. This one habit. And that's this. I do not miss training. 6 days a week, 60 minutes. Because I told myself that I was going to do that. And I stuck to it. As a result, I have learned more about fitness, more about nutrition, more about myself than I ever did any of the times when I got the kind of lean where people go, "What are you doing? And how can I learn that?" As a result, I am stronger, I am leaner, I am more muscular, I have more energy, more focus, more deep confidence in myself because I flipped that switch. And yet most people cannot do that. So that is first and foremost what you've got to understand to succeed here. You are going to be training 6 days a week. Why is that so important? It's not about building a certain amount of muscle. It's not about burning a certain amount of calories. All that stuff is important, and we will dig into it. What that's about is learning how to keep promises to yourself. This is the root of all lack of self-confidence. What's so great about fitness and nutrition is that it's tangible. And there's no other area where you see results of your efforts or lack thereof on such a short timeline. There is something about building something in the real world, and that's something being your body, that when you flip this switch and develop this discipline, it feels really great to see the changes in yourself. It feels really great to fit into clothes that you previously hadn't been able to fit into. It feels really great to rock those clothes in a way that you feel amazing. You know you look amazing. It feels awesome to have somebody running their hands over your body and for you not to shy away from it. It feels amazing to not have to do the blousing and all of the little things that we do to hide when we are ashamed of our bodies. And let me ask you, is it that we are ashamed of our bodies? Or are we ashamed of ourselves because we haven't been keeping the promises that we made to ourselves? I know for me, when I have been in those situations, those zones or chapters of my life, I would constantly be telling myself, okay, the diet starts Monday. And I had a Facebook group for a while called Diet Starts Monday. And then I was in the mall or something a little while ago, and I saw that there was a clothing brand called Diet Starts Monday. And I was like, they took my name. Should have copyrighted that. Anyway, all of that stuff feels amazing. But you know what feels more amazing is knowing that when the going gets tough, you're not going to miss because you haven't missed. And you have something that nobody can buy and nobody can take away from you to prove it. You have an awesome body that complements your life without running it. And as this world progresses in the way that it is going, that kind of physique is going to be more of a flex than a Lamborghini and the craziest Rolex or Richard Mille that you've ever seen. Because people know that. Can't buy it. It's got to be earned. It says something about a person. And what it says about a person is truthful. And that's why it's so powerful. This person doesn't miss. This person does the work. This person has discipline, can delay gratification, do what needs to be done without asking for a finish line, with total presence, total joy in the process, and how could that not apply to areas outside of the gym? So, first step is to flip a switch. This is happening. You are going to do this. I cannot do the push-ups for you. Only you can do that. But everything else can be tweaked, can be optimized. The principles that I mentioned are going to apply. But only you can do this work. Only you know that you're going to get a cookie when you're not supposed to have a cookie, when it's going to blow you through your macros. Only you know when you cut your workout short because you just weren't feeling it. Only you know if you're BSing yourself. So when you flip that switch, you're flipping a switch into a bias towards action, but you're also flipping a switch into telling the truth to yourself, to me, to everybody else in your world about what you want, why you want it, what you did. Did you do what was required? Why don't you have the results that you want? It would be a shame to get to the end of this work together and realize that you hadn't done everything that you said you were going to do. You didn't give it everything you had. That's going to be most people. I've been coaching since 2018, and I've been coached myself. I've been most people, and I've also been the guy who flips the switch. And let me tell you, life is a lot better when you flip the switch. And not just because you're unbelievably shredded and you get all those other benefits that come with it. It's better because you know that you're the person who can do that. You know you've got that gear in you. And that feels great. Now, what else do we need to succeed? Flip the switch, and then you got to understand this. I touched on it, but when I say you find joy in the process and you're not looking for a finish line, what I mean is that you have to entertain yourself. There's a misconception that training and nutrition has to be fun, has to constantly change. That's not true. It's not the program's job. It's not your diet's job to entertain you. It's your job to entertain you. It's another amazing skill when you can find happiness, find contentment, find entertainment, find joy, and be curious in and be present for this process. What most people find unbearably boring and monotonous, how could you not succeed? And again, this is so powerful because it's tangible, it's literal. But apply that elsewhere in the world, elsewhere in your life. You'll master this skill in this real world, tangibly, with your hands, training and nutrition. And you will see the changes in your body as a result. But again, it's going to apply more broadly than that. So you might have to eat the same foods every single day because they're cost effective, they're macronutrient effective, they give you the energy that you need, they don't blow you through your calories. Let go of food needing to entertain you. Learn how to be entertained no matter what you're eating. Same goes with training. Get used to it. Next, you got to obsess over the process and forget about the outcome. When I decided that I was going to train 6 days per week, 60 minutes, no cutting of corners, it was the first time that I made the training just about the training. Instead of, oh, I'm going to look a certain way or I'm going to achieve a certain PR. The previous times that I had gotten that level of conditioning or hit certain strength goals, I would hit them and I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm done. Time to go let go of all of these behaviors and habits and beliefs that got me this awesome result. And then anytime that I wanted that result again, I'd have to repeat the process. When I made it about the process without any sort of expectation of the outcome or chasing of an outcome, my adherence went way up. And adherence is, in addition to flipping the switch, one of the most important things that you have to consider. There is no point in trying a diet or trying a training program that you're not going to stick to long term. Now, that doesn't mean that what we're doing here, what we will do here, say counting macros, being in a calorie deficit. That doesn't mean that that's what you do every day for the rest of your life. You certainly can. But it means that you need to figure out a way to eat that you can adhere to for the rest of your life. The way to eat is not necessarily macros, but it's the construction of those meals. It's how you think about food and your relationship with food. I've coached vegans, I've coached carnivores. The principles don't change. So you need to find something, and we will work on this, that you can adhere to in training and nutrition and lifestyle so that you can dig into and enjoy the process. And finally, the last thing that you're going to need here to succeed is to adopt the belief that excellence is fun. It's fun to crush your workout. It's fun to be fully present for every part of every single rep, for every single set, for every single training session. It's fun to perfectly hit your macros. It's fun to get enough sleep. It's fun to do what's required. Excellence is fun. It's a mindset shift. So, to recap, flip a switch, entertain yourself, obsess over the process, and live and breathe that excellence is fun, and you cannot fail. All right, y'all. See you on the next one.